Taking the elevator, going up. I'm pushing buttons, never know where to stop. Get lost if you're locked out. Look around, got a lot of ground to cover, and I'm in love with the good life. Can't give it up. Make it to the top, keep climbing. I wanna live it up. The good life. I'm coming up, I'm coming up. The good life, good life. Oh, good life, good life. Good life, good life. Good life, good life. Hit the accelerator, speed it up. Doesn't matter where you are when you start. One shot, gotta make it count. Look around, got a lot of ground to cover, and I'm in love with the good life. Can't give it up. Make it to the top, keep climbing. I wanna live it up. The good life. I'm coming up, I'm coming up. The good life, good life. Oh, good life, good life.
1, 2, 1. Un, un. Un, 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 deux.
everyone hear me? I mean, you'd be able to hear me without the microphone, but everything's good to go? Yes. All right, wonderful. So good morning, everyone who's here. This is the beginning of our Unbiased Hackathon, which is in partnership with my beautiful company, Adabtive, which I'm pretty sure they're right there. I'm not wearing my glasses, so I can't fully see them. So this idea came from a couple of resume and CV workshops that I was forced to go through. And every time they kept being like, and here's where you put your photo. And I thought, why would I put my photo on a CV or a resume? Why does that matter? You know, in fact, why does a lot of the information we put on CVs and resumes matter? Because it has nothing to do with the work we can do, right? It's really just identifying information. What's your race? You know, what's your background? What's your gender? How old are you? And it's ridiculous because a lot of times, whether it's conscious or unconscious, people tend not to get called back for things like that. So for me specifically, my mother's last name is Enriquez, right? I'm Mexican. I'm American as well, which means that that is a huge racial problem. And I actually tested this when I was in my early 20s. I sent job resumes, the exact same ones out. The only thing different was my last name. Didn't even change my email. Didn't even change my phone number, didn't even change my first name. So Candace Enriquez's went somewhere and Candace Staats went somewhere else. And not once did I get called back for a Candace Enriquez, ever, which was really crazy. But I did get called back as Candace Staats every time, which is also crazy. I actually read a study from the Harvard School of Business, and they did this with Black and Asian people as well, where they said we have to whiten our resumes so that we even get called back sometimes. And when they whiten the resumes, they're 21% more likely to be called back as an Asian person and 25% more likely to be called back as a Black person, which is insane if you think about it. So something else I've really recognized, especially in tech, is that being in person really matters, which is crazy. I actually got my job because they met me. And we actually had this conversation where I said, do you think you would have hired me if I was just a resume on a stack? And they said, well, we honestly don't know. Which is fair. How could you know? That's a different timeline with different data. But I had been applying to jobs for 9 months, and I had never been called back. Now, part of that might be because I don't speak Dutch, but I'm positive part of that is also because I'm a woman, and because I'm technically started, looking at junior roles. And it was really difficult to find anything at all. I'm really lucky that I met them when I met them and that I kind of gave them a hard time and, that got me recognized and remembered, and then I got to go in. So when we were taking this resume course as a team, and I was looking at this thing where they want my photo, and I got really angry. Angry enough that Yoga, one of my bosses, actually called me afterwards to ask me what was happening, if I was okay, and would I like to talk about it. And I said, you know what, no, I don't want to talk to you because I don't know you well enough to know if I can trust you with what I'm upset about. And he was like, okay, well, we don't want to do anything that's upsetting or anything, like, let us chat about it. We talked a little. I stayed pretty guarded. And then I went home, and I stayed really angry because, like I said, I'm Latina, so I don't let shit go. And I thought about it, and I was like, why is any of this information necessary? And then I kept thinking, I was like, why is it necessary? Why is it necessary? And I was like, the email, phone number, that's necessary. Maybe because you need to be able to call someone to say, hey, we like you. Would you like to see if you like us too? And then that's when I thought about unbiased. Although at that point I was thinking about calling it anonymizer, but then I hated that. So we went with unbiased. And the following day, we were at work, it was a Friday, and we talked about it. I said, hey, I'd like to bring this up. And I have one of those teams where they actually listen when you want to bring something up, which is rare. And I said, this is really upsetting to me. And I think us as a tech company who builds software and does so for ethical reasons or for ethical companies, we could do this, right? There's no reason not to. And I was ready, so ready to fight for this idea. I was like, this is so important. We're a new company. We need to start our hiring practices immediately on the basis of without bias and with diversity and inclusion in mind. And they were like, oh, you know what, you're completely right. And I was like, what? What just happened? And then they brought up other points. They were like, here, Moroccan people have a really hard time, and maybe it's their last names too, or maybe it's age, or for me, I hadn't thought of age. I'm in a wonderful age where I don't have to think about it right now. But someone else brought that up. Not saying that he's old, but and we kind of talked about it, and one of my bosses was like, hey, why don't we do a hackathon for this? And I was like, yeah, let's do it in the summer. And we pinned it, and then we got busy because we're also a startup. And summer came rolling up, and I thought, we're never going to do this. We're never going to do this. And I thought about it, which means it's one of my responsibilities to do something about it. Because once you're aware of a problem, if you choose not to work on a problem, or you choose not to care, you're part of the problem, right? If you're aware. And if you're unaware and you don't fix it, that makes sense. But if you're aware there's a problem and you ignore it, that's a problem. And so I talked to them and I said, hey, we didn't do this. You guys don't have time anymore. We're a very small team. And I said, but I happen to go to a really cool school. You guys know it. You hired me there. And we're all really cool people who probably really care about this problem. Can I do a hackathon there? And the response was immediately, yes. We trust you. Go do it, which is also really cool. And then I brought it to the school here. And I'm sure some of you guys know that I had to jump through some hoops to get it going, to see if we'd be interested in it. And once those hoops were complete, here we are. So everyone here cares about equality, right? About unbiasing the workplace. Hopefully you care about things like gender equality, diversity, and all of those things. I've been reading a lot of, like I said, statistics and reports for this and for a talk I'm doing in a couple of days. So I'd just like to share some of those statistics with you, like the fact that we are 132 years away from gender equality in the EU. And in terms of tech, women in tech have actually gone down from 21 to 19% in the last 2 years. And the fact that by 2027, we will have more than 500,000 unfulfilled tech jobs because there aren't enough people in the field. But we keep discouraging the people who are here now, especially if they're not a white man, which is just how it works. I also did some other cool statistics, and I found out that in terms of tech companies, the ones that tend to be the most even was social networks and e-commerce at 46%. So 46% women, the rest is men. I assume the women is also women and non-binary, or people who choose, women identities there. And so that was really interesting. DevOps and cloud is 8%. 8% women identifying. And I don't know if you're aware of this, although I'm sure you are if you're a woman. It's kind of uncomfortable when you work somewhere and you're the only woman. In fact, it's kind of scary sometimes. And not even if you're just the only woman, but if you're one of like three. You feel like, oh, we're the token women. We are over here, and you kind of feel like an outlier. And so a lot of times people have talked to me and they have said, why aren't there more women in tech? And then I found the government studies to tell us why not, which I'm very excited about because I love data. So there are 2 drop-off points, one in Europe specifically, between secondary and primary school. There's an 18% drop-off. So during primary and secondary school, women and boys, 50-50, or girls and boys, apologies, 50-50. By the time you hit middle school, I don't know what you call it here, 18% drop-off. And they said that this is specifically due to parents and teachers and peers not being interested in pushing women into tech. And I apologize, I don't have a lot of diversity statistics for you because it's illegal to get a lot of diverse data in certain EU countries. So the main thing that they can focus on is gender. So if you're wondering if I don't care about diversity, I absolutely do. I just don't have numbers for that for EU. So 18% drop off. And then the people who go to higher education, it's another, I believe, 12% drop off, which means that by the time someone even gets to college, women are so much less likely to even try ICT or STEM because they don't feel like they can. And I'd love to share a personal story with you, which is that I was one of those kids. So I am brilliant. I'm so smart. And I grew up in Texas, in the States. Not great. And so when I was in primary school, I did something called a mathathon, where you solved math problems for as long as you could, and then people would donate based on certain milestones you got to like raise money for a fundraiser for, I think, a math program. So that was me as a kid. I was super cool. And then I did this science fair when I was about 9 or 10 with my grandfather, and we built a functioning heat-powered wind turbine. Yeah, that is what we use now. That's all, like, I used it, I built it with him with free dowel rods and the free paint samples that you can get at Home Depot, which is a home store. What's the equivalent here? Hornbach. I can't say it, but that one. The one that's orange and white. It's orange and white in the States. Oh my God. Okay, so I did that with him. He was an engineer for the Air Force and pretty much one of the only people who was like, you want to do science stuff? We'll do science stuff together. I remember he got me a geode kit when I was a child, which was super cool. And I got a rock tumbler. I'm telling you guys, I was the most popular kid. And then by the time I was in middle school in the States, they make you do these tests to see your aptitude for things. English, math, and sometimes science, depending on where you are. And I tested in the top 2 percentile in my county for all 3. And then I got to high school. And I was not pushed towards any of those things. In fact, I was put in remedial math for some reason. You know what? I have not learned any math since then because it made me so angry. Because I used to be above and beyond at this thing, and then all of a sudden stop it. Because my boss always tries to teach me math, and it makes me mad. But it made me so mad, and I thought, why can't I do this? And it wasn't just school. I would go home to my incredibly conservative father, who would remind me what my purpose in life was, which was children and to be a good wife, but to not expect to not get cheated on, because all women get cheated on. It doesn't matter how they look. So that's how I was raised. And I didn't internalize it very much, but it did affect how much I tried. And as an adult, I went to college by myself, and I couldn't afford it because I was on my own. America, it's a nightmare. And so, I didn't finish my degree. And then I got to move here with somebody, and I realized that I wasn't dumb. I kind of forgot for a little while. It's hard, There's hormones, you're a woman, you're constantly being told you're not good enough, you're not smart enough, it's not where women go, it's not what women do. And then I met my ex-partner, and he's in tech, and honestly, he's not smarter than me. And that's really where I was like, I could do this, because he can do this. He's smart, but he's not smarter than me. And so I started teaching myself how to code, and then I got here to this school, and I think we all know how you get into this school, and I get to be one of the women in tech who not only has a voice now because I've been quiet for too long, but also I get to be one of the 22% of us that is here in the EU. And that's really nothing. But if we can build this little software that might even the playing field for us, not just as women, but diversity, hires, people who are older, people who are younger, just where the playing field gets a little bit more even, then I'm going to do that because I know it's a problem. I've experienced it as a problem. I had a high aptitude for science. I am very convinced I could have been an astrophysicist had someone had faith in me as a child. And I really wish I was, because time travel is not possible, and I think if I was an astrophysicist, I could figure out zero gravity. I just want to say that. So unbiased, today we're going to be building an MVP. So that means a minimum viable product. That means the smallest, littlest thing that we can do that proves that what we're trying to do is possible, it works, things like that. But I want to tell you what my dream unbiased product is, and then we're going to take a break and do our brainstorming. So my dream unbiased product is something that companies buy, and the resumes or CVs go through. It redacts or changes the pronouns to they, them for he, she's, and it comes out completely unbiased, right? There's no photo, you don't have a cell phone number, you don't have an email, you don't have their date of birth with the year, you don't have any of that information. You have their education, you have what they've done in the field, you have what they're most proud of in the field, and that's it. And you don't have their gender either, because instead of saying she or he, the software puts they or them there. So they accomplish this. And then the hiring manager gets to go through and star the ones that they like, and a scheduler automatically goes out. I'm just going to hold this, Basil, because the scheduler knows the times that the hiring manager is open, and it sends it to an email automatically, because the scheduler or unbiased product would still know the email address. And it would, oh, this is so distracting, sorry. And it would send them the schedule and say, hey, here's 3 time slots. We're interested in you. Would you like to come? And then if they can't take those time slots, obviously they get swapped out. But let's say everything goes well, they pick a time slot, they show up, and then the hiring manager comes out and says, hey, number 39, and they know their number because they got the confirmation email, and Emily or Elena or someone here whose name I don't know, they come up and they're like, hi, it's nice to meet you. And that's your first impression, is in real life, it's when you're a real person. And it's so much harder to have an unconscious bias when you are in someone's face, when you're already there. And this is not just for tech. This is for any company that digitally sends in your CVs and resumes. So basically everyone. And then it would store the data based on your company going throughout, so that it could give you facts and figures like, hey, hiring manager Bob is 37% less likely to hire someone who has an Arabic last name during that first meetup, because we know all of its education and we know all of the things that they have done. So they're just as qualified as this other person, but for some reason he went this way, but not just once, enough that it seems like a pattern. And then you can go through as an HR department or a company and say, hey, maybe we do some extra training. Or if it becomes a real problem, hey, maybe you don't work here anymore, right? Actually putting something into action. And that's what's important to me. Now, obviously, that is too big to be able to do in 3 days, and also not free. And this needs to be, lower level in terms of cost, but still where we get the message out. So that's what we're going to be doing over the next 3 days. And does anybody have any questions or comments? Would it be better answered during the brainstorming portion of the session?
Yeah, I'm not sure. It's about the name. You said the last name should be
Redacted.
Redacted, but the first name.
No, the whole name.
The whole name.
But the last name is usually more indicative. Yeah, of course. Okay. Yes.
What if you completely lie on your resume and you're 10 years old?
I think when you show up to the interview, you'll be able to tell.
Yeah, but wouldn't that be a complete waste of time for companies to interview 10-year-olds?
They already have a time built in loss, right? Is it a waste of time for them to interview someone who they'd never hire anyway? Because they're going to do that no matter what. They're going to...
I'm saying it's kind of a way to break the system as well.
Yeah, but you can
For 5 minutes?
your real resume as well and show up to an interview,
Yeah.
get invited, and you might as well be here.
Honestly, if they're 10, it'd be easier to say, I'm sorry, here's a juice box, go home. So that's 5 minutes wasted. And if 5 minutes wasted balances out thousands of years of inequality, then maybe we do it. Yeah? Is that fair? Are we good? Any more questions or comments? Are we ready to do this then? Excited? All right, let's be excited then. Come on, my God. Yes? All right. So Heather and Brian, you guys are my mods. The film can be done. Please help me. And I'm going to take this off. So you guys have about 5 minutes if you want to go to the bathroom, drink coffee. I like to be on time, so let's come back in 5 minutes, okay? Because I'm unpleasant when we're late. You have until 9:40. Let's go.